Welcome, everyone, to the Noble Insights podcast. I'm thrilled today to have on with me Rajiv Upadhyay, who is absolutely killing it with this company that they've started. Being the CEO and founder of Clover Bay Technologies, he comes from a very rich background of technology services from some of the biggest names in the world. And I'm just thrilled to have him on today to get to know him a little bit more and learn about what he's doing with his company. So, Rajiv, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Josh. It's great to be here and nice talking to you.
Thank you very much. All right. So, where are you dialing in from today?
I'm dialing from Bangalore.
Bangalore. Wonderful. Is that where you grew up?
No, I grew up in the north of India. I grew up in Bihar, I grew up in Gujarat, and then I moved to Bangalore for my work.
Bangalore. Gotcha. Did you go to university in that area as well?
No, university I went in Gujarat.
Okay. Very good. And so tell me a little bit about your career. Like, where'd you start out? How'd you kind of get to this point?
Yeah, so I started off my career with Infosys as a software engineer, and we were mostly learning technology at that point of time. And then my real shift to retail came in when I joined Target. When Target was setting up their own GCC in India, it was very early days, way back in 2007. That's when I joined Target. In India, started understanding the retail domain from the US perspective. And then I moved to US in 2009 when we were doing a complete, migration from Amazon hosted platform to our own Target hosted platform. That was a massive 2 years program where we had to switch off Amazon and move to Target our own Target.com platform. I was part of supply chain team who was leading some of the initiatives on the supply chain side on building the supply chain solutions, which was kind of at that point of time black box for us because Amazon was taking care of everything before that, and now we wanted to move everything in house. So we had to build pieces by pieces, processes by processes, what has to be done for e-commerce, because that was still not completely managed by Amazon. And post that, I moved back to India and I joined another startup which was into implementing supply chain solutions, have implemented solutions like Sterling Commerce for some of the clients globally. And then I joined Reliance Retail, which is one of the largest retail companies in India. And they are the biggest in brick and mortar, and they wanted to launch their e-commerce platform for the fashion lifestyle. And that's when I joined them as one of the first few employees on the technology side, build the team, build the platform. We went live. It scaled up well. It's one of the second largest retailer in India in fashion lifestyle, almost there to be the first one. So, doing pretty good. And then I decided to do something of my own. And I always wanted to see, I love solving problems. And I thought that it will be good to work with multiple retailers and see how we can work with them and solve problems that come, because every retailer have their own unique problem and solving them was a challenge. So that's when I started Clover Bay. It was started right in the middle of the COVID. So we built our team completely offline, remote, all hiring was done on video interviews and everything. But we did that. And it has been 5 years now since we have been running Clover Bay Technologies. So in this 5 years, we got an opportunity to work with some of the good companies where we did some good work, where we have launched two more e-commerce platform for one of our two of our client, where we built everything from scratch. And we basically have positioned ourselves as a product engineering company who believes in building custom solution for each retailer. As I said, every retailer has a unique business proposition. They have unique problems that they face. And we thought implementing one solution doesn't fit all, and we should be looking at each problem by its own at its own merits, and then try to solve it and figure out what is the right approach for them. So we work with retailers, we understand their roadmap, their business vision, their strategies, and then how technology can enable them rather than technology blocking them from achieving what they want to achieve, right? And we work on the roadmap, we come up with a tech strategy for them, and then implement it, do a custom development for them. So we have been completely working mostly leveraging open source technologies and building custom solution for our client in the retail area.
Okay. Now, you said a ton there, but I would say let's dive into that last thing you said. You said that you're focusing now mostly on open source capabilities, but for so long in this space, right, it's been dominated by packaged solutions. So both on the e-commerce side and on the order management side. So we've gotten numerous packages and we've seen a few microservices solutions come into play, starting to more prevalently. We've got, if you just look at I think back when you started at Target, were they still on ATG at the time?
Yeah.
And Sterling Commerce for the
We moved to
IBM
Sterling
Sterling?
Commerce, yeah.
Yeah.
And the
And
front
then,
end, we moved to IBM Webster Commerce Service at that point of time.
okay, so you moved to Webster Commerce that time. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of packages out there. And so why are you bringing these companies into the open source arena when these packages were supposed to be solving all the open source problems in the early days. So why the
Yeah,
shift back to open source?
I think that's interesting because that's how everybody assumes that if I get the best in breed package from the market, I will get the best solution that will just miraculously work for me and everything will be done.
There you
But
go.
I can honestly tell you, at least all the implementations that I have done, taking one of the best in breed packages it still takes you 12 months to 18 months of say, customization. You have to have experts who knows that product because those products are good. I'm not questioning those products. I worked on those products and those are products which cater to wider range of businesses, industries. So the product itself has become so complex because it has to meet the same product can be used in telecom, the same product can be used in fashion lifestyle, the same product can be used in grocery. These are all different kind of businesses. But if the same product is providing these capabilities, they have built a lot of complexity among them to be able to do that. And but you don't need all of those. You need something very specific to what you have need. Like maybe 20% of the entire solution is what fits your need, but you have to take full and then you have to go ahead and customize. And when you customize, your problem is if I customize this, it is not allowed because it will break something which I don't even need. That's not even a feature that I needed, but it will break that, and that's why you can't customize that feature there. Because the every businesses are unique. I mean, if everybody's doing the same thing, then you don't need so many businesses. Then why have everybody has their own unique special secret recipe and they work on that, and that's what they want to do when they reach out to their customer. You end up customizing it. So when you have to take 12 to 18 months to customize a solution, that too with experts who know that solution. But what happens with open source is all you need to know what you want, and then you build it the way you want. And then when you take it over, it's pretty easy transition. Even if we build it or if the client build it on their own, when you take it on, you exactly know what you have built, what are my, uh, things that I can't do, things that I can do, where I can extend, rather than always being dependent. Oh, I want to do this feature. Can we do it? And then somebody will come and tell you, oh, no, you can do it, but we'll have to raise a PR and we'll take 3 months and we'll give you this release in next 3 months. So I think that's one of the reason why people have been implementing packages, and I have done that as part of the companies that I just spoke about, is because people think one is speed to market, and second, we think it will bring industry experience. People who have worked on different companies, they bring that expertise as a consultant and help you do that. But the same can be done when you do a custom development, and at the same time, with full control of the code that you are getting developed. So there are two bottlenecks in the head, Josh, that people have when they think about package versus custom. One, it will take 2 to 3 years to build something custom. No. If you know your requirement, if you can, it may take 1 month or 2 months to jot down your entire requirement. Maybe the initial discovery session may take long if you're starting fresh or you already have a running business, you also already know what you're doing. But once you have that clear, technology has advanced a lot today. Things can be developed fast. Things can be developed pretty, in a very performant way, secured way. Taking something out of the package solution and then adding 100 servers to scale it for your business, it doesn't make sense, right? You can write more performant code that saves on your infrastructure cost. It helps you build what you are looking for. And that's where I believe that one mental block that it will take 2 to 3 years is what is there. And the second is sometimes people think, oh, I don't have to worry about managing the code. It's a package. If there's an issue, I'll raise a ticket and somebody will fix that. Those can be handled through either you can have, you don't have to build a very strong team to manage your solution because it's very, specifically built to you. But services like what we offer, build, operate, manage, we build it, we operate it and manage it for you till you are ready to take it in-house. We have a dedicated team who is just managing it only for your requirements and getting it done. But that's where I think it makes a difference. And with today's, the way technology is advanced, I think everybody should explore what they can do differently for their customer rather than taking a package and use something which everybody's using, because you will not create a differentiator. And that's what people actually end up doing. They take a package and then they want to customize it to so make it different from what others are doing it. Then why to take the package at the first? Why don't you build it custom yourself? But these are the two bottlenecks. I believe whenever I talk to people, there's it will take 2 3 years to build it, and who will manage this? Mid-size IT companies, their worry is if they don't have a strong IT team, they are worried who will manage it if they build custom. And so I think that's where the all tussle is. And if you look at all the big players, they are ultimately moving in and building their own in-house system. So we are basically targeting those mid-sized companies where we are saying that, hey, you can also build what you need at a cost which is much less than what you would take from, a package solution, and then implement it by getting some experts, as well as we'll manage it for you if you want. so that you don't feel like, what to do next.
Gotcha. Okay. So is that something that companies are coming to you saying, look, we bought the best of breed application for OMS. It's on all the analyst rankings. It's the visionary, the leader. It's the one it's the lowest risk from our perspective that we're going to move forward with. And they say we pick that. However, have any of them come to you and said, but we're finding that to tweak it or at least make some changes to accommodate certain aspects of our business is becoming overwhelming.
Yes, it's
Is it?
becoming very common, Josh, these days. And in fact, for some of the companies who have implemented some of the solution long time ago, right, they are now struggling with, they have a unique problem. They have a problem that people who implemented this solution have now left the company. So now they don't even know what customization they have done in the system, and that's keeping them scared that, if we remove, what if we miss out on features because it's not well documented. People who have worked on it have left the company. So it's working, let's not touch it. But then they look for options, and that's where we say we can do a complete end-to-end assessment, do a complete as-is process assessment, system assessment, and that's why I say the first 2-3 months are critical to understand what you build, what you have today, and then building it is easy. But that's where the time goes, because sometimes people that we have spoken to, they don't know what the customization and what system they have built, because some of the people who managed it have left the companies. I was speaking to one of the companies who have been on as, very well known OMS for 12 years. They want to come out, but their worry is we don't know what we have customized here. We have to do a complete assessment, understand, and then see how do we build something because they have customized the product already so much over a
Sure.
period of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's some packages out there. I know, for example, Sterling was built in a way that it wasn't going to act in a vacuum. Like it was early days, even from the beginning of the architecture. It was built with an API layer around it to allow it to go out with a very robust mechanism to do that. However, some other tools that were out there, like Manhattan, were very much a closed system. Like, we're not going to allow this. We want to control this code. So it was two different, very different approaches. Both had success in their own rights. But if you don't mind, maybe we could dive into that a little bit. If we look at the current IBM Sterling framework, which dominates, both those
Yeah.
two, I'd say, dominate the top end of the retail and distribution sector. So let's just say from a IBM Sterling standpoint, if I am a company that's running that right now and I'm looking to make some changes and some improvements on that platform, why would I come to you for that instead of going to some of the other, either the company itself or other companies to help me expand my
Yeah.
IBM solution?
Yeah, and I think the answer to that is, Josh, if I take, and as I said, Sterling is one of the best OMSs in the market. Manhattan is one of the good OMS in the market. But then when it comes to, when I want to take the ownership, can I take it without knowing Sterling comps? I need to know things that I don't even use, because it's a package, and if I do
It's a whole
something,
package. Yeah.
it will break something else which I might not be aware of. So I need experts. There's a vendor lock-in. There's a lock-in that you need expertise in that particular solution. So that's the only thing. And in case of some of the other packages, they don't even let you know how things work internally, right? So that's where the whole challenge comes into picture, is the ownership of what you have. You are paying for you are paying for the license, you're paying for the customization, but still you don't own it. It is still owned by somebody else, and you you need people with that understanding. But if you build your own solution, you have a complete control on what you have been built. It's very easy. Your people dependency is less, because you can actually have full complete control on the system that you have. So that's where I feel people are looking at moving out. And as you said, there are APIs that it helps you to integrate, right? For in case
Mhm.
of Sterling OMS is a system that has to integrate with so many systems. At the end of the day, OMS is the heart of supply chain, right? And just you need to integrate, and you have translators, and there are a lot of integration mechanism now available that can speed up and simplify the integration process. But the core OMS, still you have to go and customize within the solution that you have taken. It can be anything. So the question is, you have to still know the product. You have to still have dependency on the specific vendor to do that. Out here, it's pretty simple. All you need to know the features and the capabilities that you have built. It's built in open source technology. Anybody can come and pick it up. I'm not even talking about taking something open source like OMS and then to build on top of it. I'm saying build it on basic code, right? And just take it and run it with you.
Yeah. Now you said the word heart surgery, right? That makes
And
usually. people in IT. Well, I mean, let's just, you didn't say heart surgery. You said, oh, this is the
I
heart of
said
the
it's the
supply chain.
heart of the supply chain. Yeah,
Which, if someone's thinking I got to change my OMS, right, it is the center of everything. Everything.
exactly.
So if someone comes in and is like, oh, hey, I've got an open source OMS I want to build for you, immediately it's like, no, I can't. That's going to take a year and a half. It's going to shut down my operations, right? I can't do that. So how do you work with someone that has, an OMS planted, and you want to say, no, no, it's not open heart surgery. It's actually something much less, it's much more mild than that we can get things moving faster in a shorter period of time. Like, how do you handle those kind of conversations?
Yeah, so we definitely never suggest a big bang switch over, right? Like a day, particular day, you switch off one and switch on other. That's not going to work because at the end of the day, you don't want to disrupt your business. And when you're making these changes of moving from package to your own, OMS or in-house OMS, it's most of the time it is considered as tech project. So business will not buy in if you tell them, hey, no new requirement for next 18 months because I'm doing a tech upgrade. It's not going to, sell with your business itself. So what we recommend is a phased approach. Let the current system run, and then you start building, taking out capabilities by capabilities features out, integrated with your system, and then you phase it out eventually, so that your business is not impacted, and you are moving towards modernization. You are moving towards the tech architecture that you are looking for in a very gradual way. Even when we release, we don't ask people to release 100%. Like what we have done is when you build something a new capability for you can say, okay, X percentage of your stores or your order volume will start flowing into the new, and then slowly once you start seeing the maturity, you start seeing that yes, it's performing the way you want it to perform, you gradually open up the funnel, and then you slowly drain out the legacy system, right? So that's how we approach. Never a switch on, switch off. We did this with one of a very big retailer when I was consulting with them in Latin America. Planned out a proper release, migration from their existing OMS to their own in-house built OMS, custom OMS, where it was very, you know, planned release by release, that in which release what is moving out and how eventually they come out of the OMS that they're using.
Okay, that makes sense. So how much time do you think a company would save if they would move forward with a platform like yours and an approach like yours?
So there are two ways to look into it, Josh. There are two kind of clients that we have worked with. Somebody who is launching something new, like there was a new business concept that was getting launched in India, and they were building everything from scratch. So we built the entire OMS for them, and we actually built and get their OMS ready in 6 months. Actually, 16 weeks we are ready for integration testing and everything, and with testing it everything in 6 months. And it was complex business because they were not, in fashion lifestyle. They were into kind of a business where you had to manage lots and have to manage a lot of different kind of thing in the inventory, but everything was built in, and we were ready for integration in 16 weeks. But eventually we went live in 6 months because the integrations had to take place with all the systems and everything. But it was because they were building from scratch. It was a company it was a startup that was launching. But for companies where I spoke about, big retailers who already have, 100,000 orders a day, and they want to move away from OMS, it's going to be a phased approach of moving away, as I said, depending on the complexity and depending on thing, because we are not suggesting a switch on and switch off, it will take a little longer time because you are moving away feature by feature, maybe, 9 months to 12 months. But the benefit is once it's out, you have full control on the code. Then, the scalability is not a concern because you know what you have already built it for your scale, and then you can do any customization that is needed pretty fast on that.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. And then as far as like customers that you've worked with, like what customers can you talk about, and what information can you share, like successes or wins that you've created for your clients?
Yeah, so we as I said, we built this entire OMS for one of the startup, which was actually launching a home depot kind of a concept store in India, and we built this complete OMS for them. In fact, once the OMS was live, they were using a 3PL WMS, and later on they wanted to build their own WMS as well, and we actually built the entire WMS as well for them custom, right? So that's something that we were able to do for them. We are working with another retailer, which is again a very, very big retailer in sports industry.
Have they gone live yet?
There are two retailers where we build the entire e-commerce platform from scratch, and they are live now. So they are doing business. One is a cross-border B2B platform. The other one is, a premium e-commerce platform targeting HNI segment. We built a complete digital transformation for a UK-based telecom company which is present in 22 countries. They were in legacy application. We migrated them to modern architecture. They had 22 code base for 22 countries. Now they manage 22 countries with a single code base with multilingual support, multi-currency support, and also apps available for the countries that they're in. So we have had some good success stories.
Sure. No, I understand. So then, so let's look at the US market for a minute. Like, do you see opportunity for you to move into the US market and help retailers here solve those kinds of
I see that as a huge opportunity because, as I said, I was in US and I was there in 2010, 11, 12 at that point of time. And when I compare that time to today, many companies who had implemented, some of these solutions, be it storefront or OMS or WMS, have slowly moved out and are building their own in-house platform. The big companies, they are able to do the Targets of the world, Lowe's of the world and all that. They have the big IT team. So they can do it in-house and they're slowly moving building solutions that work for them. But then there are many mid-sized companies which, as I said, with this two bottleneck in the mind that time that it will take a long time and two who will manage it are still in a situation where they have not yet taken a decision whether to continue with packages or to build their own solution. And I believe if we can work with them, give them the confidence that you can build your own solution that is very custom for you without any headache of managing it, maintaining it. That can be done by somebody like us. We can manage it for you. And then whenever you are ready, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line, you can take it in-house. Even now, if you're ready, we can transfer the technology and everything in-house. The learning curve is less because it's not very proprietary tools or technology that we're using. We are building it on Java, Node.js, React. Technology is pretty straightforward. It's available very easily, right? Everybody is aware of that. So that's what we think is there's a lot of opportunity in that segment where people are in two minds, whether to continue with packages or to look at building the solution. I think we should be able to make some impact there.
AI is becoming more prevalent in business and conversation and what companies are using it for, whether it's coding or solving other types of problem. Where do you see AI playing in the OMS field, for example? Because there's a lot of decisions that take place behind the scenes around allocation, for example, and distribution, and it's complex. So do you see AI taking a bigger role in some of the OMS capabilities you're rolling out in the future?
Yes, so we are very, very aggressively evaluating AI and its AI use cases. To be honest, and that's the reason people say we should now start because everybody's calling themselves AI company, and I normally avoid saying that because we basically are looking at case to case basis, Josh, and seeing where it really makes sense because it's
Right.
not everything. Because people now have even started calling automation as AI. If you automate some regular work, they call it now it's AI. I mean, it is more of building some
Yeah.
intelligence there and getting things done. But as you said, one thing that we are definitely doing on the AI front is we are leveraging some of these AI tools that helps us to do development even faster. It's
Yeah.
making life, as I said, now 6 months, 9 months, it can actually now reduce to 3 months. Who knows? Because a lot of these AI tools are there that helps you with that in the code generation part. So that's something definitely we are looking at, and our team is working on that. On the supply chain side, as promise, as you said, the allocation, the promise is very, very complex. Definitely an area where AI can play a very critical role. Integrations, AI can play a very critical role. So we are looking and identifying. We are doing a couple of POCs right now on the supply chain side. Once we see some value coming out of that, we will definitely come out and start talking about it. But unless I really see some benefit coming out, it's very difficult for me to say. Right, very early days right now for me to say from an OMS perspective, what all can we do, change from AI. May not sound the most right thing to say right now,
Yeah.
but I want to be very sure of once those three use cases that we make it work, and then we come and talk about it.
You're right though. There are so many tools out there. I mean, everyone says they're an expert in AI, but I mean, come on, like AI has not been generally available for the last 2 years. That's the sooner. How many experts can we actually have in AI in this? And there's a lot of seminar business going on now with AI. I do have this one example. I had a client that had a webinar system, and then they had a CRM, and they were told by their consultant that you can't integrate the two together. It's just because they're not compatible. And I said, let me just take a look at it. And I mean, very quickly, I think I used N8N for this one. But very quickly, there were two out of the box webhooks into both those systems. I think it was like GoToWebinar and HubSpot, right? Hooked that up, and then I did the OAuth. I think the tools are getting so fascinating right now, Rajiv,
Yeah.
the capabilities, because in 2 days I was able to stand up this thing. And I'm a novice when it comes to technology. There was a product manager at Yantra. His name was Rob Sweeney. And he would always, when he talked to the development team, he's like, okay, is this an extension that Josh could do? Or is this something that Rajiv could do? Right? Is this a Josh one? Or I was always kind of that, I'm a little bit technical, but I'm not that much technical. So
Yeah.
have all these tools out here now, Rajiv, that are so at and the developer's fingertips to help them improve the way they do business. I mean, what are your thoughts on, like you said, integration was a key piece for this. How do you see AI helping integration into some of these
So
mid-sized
yeah,
retailers?
so for me, the way we are looking at is that how, because as you know, when we talk about retail systems and especially when we talk about OMS, integration becomes the key. That's where most of the time goes because you have to integrate with so many systems. We are figuring out if we can come up with some framework that can actually help create these integrations faster. Right? I mean, you have to integrate with a system; it shouldn't take much time. So that's something we are working on. Hopefully, we should have some output on that in a couple of weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. We are looking at.
Great. Okay. So how do people find you, Rajiv? They want to talk.
Yeah, they can always reach out to me through LinkedIn, or I can have my email ID and phone number. And
Yeah. Well, wonderful. I can't thank you enough for chatting with me today. I think it's really exciting what you're doing. I know that, I got involved in the OMS world right out of college and have always had a deep, deep love for the topic. And it's always been, like you said, it's been the heart of this entire .com boom that happened and just the growth of e-commerce. And I think OMS has always been at the center of that. And you know what? It really hasn't changed that much.
no, it actually, I would say it has drastically changed, Josh, from beginning. I mean, just to add to my point,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah. It's still the
way
center,
back,
and it's
yeah, center. It's still
yeah.
a center, but 15 years back, OMS was supposed to be a tier two system. So if it's down, it's down. It doesn't impact the customer. It doesn't impact anything, right? So being downtime of OMS was not considered to be bad, unless yes, it impacts your operations, your operation team, orders gets piled up. But now OMS is considered to be the heart of customer experience. It's the
Oh,
OMS drives your
interesting. Yeah.
customer experience from promise, what you tell to the customer when you're on the PDP page and your checkout page and everywhere, right? And then throughout, are you shipping on time? Are you, handing it over to your courier partner on time? You can't afford downtime. It's a tier one system now. So that I believe has changed because previously the mindset of people was that's why there was so much of decoupled between OMS and storefront saying, oh, it's a backend system. It can go down anytime. We don't want to impact our customer. You can't afford that anymore. You can't afford OMS going down for long because it is integral part of customer experience now. So that's very important.
Yeah, I guess I've always been a big proponent of OMS from the very beginning. So maybe I was skewed in my perception, but you're right. I think externally it's changed a lot because now companies and IT departments and business owners are saying, no, if we don't have the ability to make a promise to a customer and keep the promise, sure, anybody can make a promise, but can you actually deliver on the promise that you made to that customer? And also, I think another thing that's become even much more prevalent in the last few years is delivery date, because it's easy to say usually ships in 2 to 3 business days, right? That was like the common one that gave you enough buffer to not really piss off the customer too much, but also give you some time to figure things out. But that just doesn't work. I think there's been a lot of statistics that show that as you can narrow down that window to be more precise in your promise, then actually that'll convert into 20-25% higher conversion of customers if you can get that promise more accurate. And I think a lot of
Absolutely.
times people can get earlier. They are just afraid to make that promise in case something goes wrong because they don't trust the data behind that. So yeah, have you seen that too? Like ATP is, if you can narrow in on ATP, that's a really strong business driver for.
Absolutely. And I can talk from an India point of view, Josh. People, when they
Okay,
shop, they not only look at the product price, they also look at the date when it can be delivered. Which one is delivering you earlier, right? And definitely price still plays the important
sure,
factor,
sure.
but delivery date is very important. So gone are the days when people used to say it will be delivered to you in 3 to 5 business days. Nobody wants that because when you say that, they know you're not sure when you will deliver. But when you tell them that I'll deliver it to you on 28th of October or on of November, they know when they are committing something, that's the belief that they'll have that these guys will deliver it on that day. So they know what they're doing, how they're going to deliver it. So it's very important. Delivery date is very important. So that's where promise becomes very important right from the PDP page or even PLP page when you are browsing for grocery, for example. It's very important to know your location, whether I can deliver all the things to that location. So it starts right from selecting your PIN code, and PLP also shows you the product that can actually get delivered to you. So it's pretty important.
And Clover Bay can provide that.
We can build promise. We have a couple of good, very robust promises that we have built for our client, which has which can give you the result up to the point that you want.
I think Clover Bay, I think you guys provide something very unique in this market because you not only have the core OMS chops of working with some of the early chasm jumpers of OMS. So the targets of the world, right? I know they were one of the first customers, the big retail customers that bought Yantra, which became Sterling, which became IBM Sterling. Right? They were the first movers in that because they saw that buy online, pick up in store, ATP allocation engine. They saw that being critical when they went multi-channel and omni-channel.
I think we have a mix of people who have worked with retail companies. For example, I work with Target, I work with Agio, people have worked with Tesco, people have worked with Schneider Electric, the digital part of it, people have worked with Rakuten, people have worked with Falabella. So when you are part of a business, like when you are part of Agio or Target, you don't only see the go live and the warranty support. You actually see the business after that. You see the challenges, the issue, the operation calling you at 2 a.m. in the night saying, "Oh, warehouse is stuck because no order is flowing from OMS," and then you sit and find out what the issues are and then figuring out and solving it. We have seen those, we have been in those shoes, right? We have seen scaling it from day zero where you implemented and went live to 100,000 orders a day to 200,000 orders a day, and how that scaling meant, what kind of issues you had to fix to reach to that. And that's the experience that we bring in when we implement the next project, because we know there are times that people say that our team has been so effective that they predict that this problem, if you do it this way, this is the problem you will face. And they actually, when they go back and see, they realize, yes, we should not be doing it this way, because people have seen that. People have seen that in their journey, and that's why I'm lucky to have such people in my team who have that experience, who bring that experience, and that's what we bring to our customer. That's why we remain focused on retail industry, because we wanted to sit, understand the problem, and put all our experience into it to find a solution for that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah, yeah, because I see, not only do you bring that core OMS capability, years and years and years of experience with the biggest names, but also you bring the e-commerce experience as well, where you've built the biggest retail platform in e-commerce in India, right? So you understand this full picture, this customer-facing back end management, pulling it together, and you've built them both, and you built it on the biggest scale on both sides. So if I'm a mid-sized retailer in the US. I don't want a package solution. I don't have a giant IT army that I'm in this weird space where, I need something unique for my business, but I don't want to have to, I don't want to have to go hire 1,000 people.
Exactly.
It's like that would be I would want to be talking to you immediately.
Absolutely.
Like, help me map this out. What does this look like? Right? How do I get this, the benefits of the packaged platforms, but also with the benefit of owning this and delivering something unique that no one else had. Yeah. Okay. You're my 4-leaf clover. All right. My friend, is there anything else you want to share before we wrap this up?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah. We'll find you on LinkedIn. I'll provide some contact information as well for you at the bottom of this. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for all you do. Congratulations on the success of your company. And I
Thanks,
look forward
Raj.
to seeing it grow and change the way that we operate here in the US.
Thank you so much.